I think it's still a bit too early to be able to tell if the marriage is going to work out or not, and we were off to a bit of a rocky start thanks to the Australian guy. But since we got married, everything's been okay. We haven't had huge arguments, and I really feel like we've bonded, and we've had some great cereal recently, so hopefully things will continue this way. And she seemed okay, she seemed like she'd forgiven me. So we went to sleep and we woke up the next day and we had some cereal. I was 21 when I first experienced this, and I thought to myself, I've been wasting my life playing video games and watching anime when I could have been having cereal. A few years ago I stayed in this guest house in Japan and I couldn't find a girlfriend. I stayed there for 3 months and I couldn't find anyone who would show an interest in me. So I had to resort to homo cereal. I was just so depressed and desperate to have cereal. I even let a guy spoon feed me Cheerios. I started to give up on the idea of ever finding the perfect girlfriend. You know, that perfect girl who ticks off all the boxes on my perfect girlfriend list. And I resorted to having cereal with anyone who would let me. I didn't care if she was fat and ugly, or if she had a big mole on her back. As long as I was getting cereal, that was good enough. It was all I could think about. When would be the next time I could have cereal again? It was never enough. It was on my mind all of the time. Even if I was having loads of cereal, I would still just be thinking about the next bowl. There was never enough. The more cereal I had, the more I wanted. It wasn't just Japan. I tried out other countries as well. I went to South Korea multiple times for cereal. I went to Taiwan as well because I knew this Taiwanese girl who I thought was interested in having cereal with me, but it turns out she didn't like me at all. And I wasted a whole month living in her stupid house. I didn't come to Taiwan to talk to your brother or your parents. I came to have cereal. Lots of people made fun of me. They said things like, ha ha ha, Daniel has to go to another country to find someone to have cereal with him. He can't even get cereal in his own country. Yeah, so what? That's true, I'm not denying that. Ever since the beginning of the human race, people have been moving around the planet. They've been moving to other countries in search of suitable mates. It's completely normal, it's completely natural. What I'm trying to say is, okay, maybe I do have a little bit of an addiction to cereal. Maybe I enjoy cereal a little bit more than the average person does. But there's nothing wrong with going to another country to find cereal. People do it all of the time. They've been doing it since the beginning of humanity. If a girl says yes to going to karaoke with you, it means that there's at least an 89% chance that you're going to have cereal. And I asked her if she wanted to go to a hotel to have cereal. And I was so confident that she was going to say yes because we were kissing already. But she said no. She said she didn't want to have cereal on the first date. And I was just devastated. I was crushed. I couldn't believe she actually said no. And I was getting a bit frustrated because we were kissing and being very intimate, and I just really wanted to have cereal, and she didn't. And I got confused. I had this experience in the past where I kept meeting up with this Japanese girl that I knew, and I met her maybe 4 or 5 times, hoping that it would eventually lead to somewhere and we would have cereal. But it never did. We never had cereal, and it just felt like it was a huge waste of time. So one day I decided to finally tell her that I wanted to have cereal with her, and I sent her a dick pic, and then she blocked me. So I decided to go back onto Tinder, and I started going on dates again, and I even had cereal with this other woman. But things weren't really going well. I couldn't find someone who I liked enough, so I decided to text my wife again, and we actually ended up meeting again. We had dinner, and she asked me if I wanted to come back to her place, and I said yes. When I first came back to the apartment with her, I had this idea that it was going to be passionate and exciting, and as soon as we got into the apartment we were going to start kissing, and then we would have passionate cereal straight away. But that didn't happen. What happened was she sat down and she turned on the TV, which is behind me, and we watched TV. After nearly 4 hours of watching TV, she finally stood up and switched the bloody thing off, and she said she was going to have a shower, and then I also stood up and we started kissing, and then we sat down on the bed and we had cereal. I think my main regret was not initiating cereal as soon as we entered the apartment. My advice to young men would be, if you're alone with a girl and you have the opportunity to have cereal, then don't be scared, just go for it, make a move. Now that I think about it, I've had so many opportunities in the past where I could have had cereal, but I didn't get to have cereal because I was too scared to make a move. Every single night before I go to sleep, I think about all of the opportunities and chances I missed out on because I was too scared. And it haunts me.